Stanley Parable. We'll just begin the game here. Loading, that's always good.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, interesting.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year.
Sounds like a job.
While others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I wouldn't be happy with that job.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Oh.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
Welcome to the life of being a loner.
Isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, is that what I'm supposed to do? Oh, okay. Oh, I can move. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Sounds like the
decided to
apocalypse.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe. Where's the meeting room at? Okay, we go this way. What's in here? Oh, it's like the apocalypse around this place. Like there's paper everywhere. Who hires the janitor for this place? The janitor should be fired. Like, there's papers everywhere. Ah, it's just a mess around here. Alright, we're going this way, I guess. It's just following the doors that are open.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But this reminds me of like the Temple of Doom. I don't know if I'd go for the left. I'm Travis Brooks, and I always make bad decisions. I'm going for this door.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
No!
and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
No!
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So if I make the wrong decisions in this game, it yells at me, kind of way? I guess it does. Oh, janitor. Ah, no, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Okay, so this is the meeting room.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
It's not really beautiful,
Stanley
it's just a
simply
normal
stood
room.
here, drinking it all in.
Drinks $1.25, not in this economy. Alright, I'm going to walk
But
through
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I feel like I'm playing like Slender Man, except it's nice and happy Slender Man. Okay, first door on the left. Yeah, I'll go through it.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Alright, I'm going to do that then. Okay, so... Oh,
Yet
here's a
there was
here's
not
the
a
meeting
single
room.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
My boss's office. Haha, gotta like that local synergy. Alright, I'm gonna find my boss's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm probably gonna go downstairs. I wanna see what's down here first.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No!
He
I
considered
just wanted
the
to see what was
possibility
down
of
here.
facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
This
He might be
narrator needs to
fined
get
for
out of
that.
my head.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe,
What?
he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did
Oh my
doors
God!
close
I can't see my
automatically
feet!
behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
I feel like I'm in a
Simply
crack
repeating.
house.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real.
No, this
And
can't
at
be real.
last, he came to the conclusion
Look, it just closes
that it had
on
been
me.
on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all
No,
a
I
dream.
didn't.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt.
I absolutely
to have
didn't say that.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
Hey, wasn't I just here?
May as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What the f?
Then
What the f?
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It
Whoa.
was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating
Exactly.
everything that I'm doing and thinking?
And why I keep going around in
Now
circles?
The voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice.
I'm gonna hide behind this
describing
car. I'm
me,
scared.
Thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Yes.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he
okay.
invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air.
This is what it feels like to be in a coma.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Yes.
Let me go back to my job.
Yes.
Let me continue pushing the buttons.
Yes.
Please. It's all I want.
Yes!
I want my apartment and my wife.
Oh
and
no,
my
you can keep
job.
her.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Exactly.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake
Whoa, what
me
the
up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear
What the f is going on here?
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
What?
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
She couldn't turn and run as soon as she seen a dead body on the ground? Okay, loading. What did I just witness? And this is the start of the game again. Well, I guess that was one ending to the Stanley Parable that we just saw. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to play more of Stanley Parable in the future, but for now, this is all I got for now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.